Um, okay, I think my eye is back to normal. So just wanted to give you an update on it seems to come in twos, and last week when I did my video, I had one night without sleep, and then that second night, my nose got really, really stuffed up, and I don't think it's mucus, like my sinuses just flare up. My ENT said that there's nothing wrong with my sinuses, that it's just that I have all this is really tight right here. He thinks it's TMJ. He doesn't want to give me anything. My ear does have water in it, like liquid in it. He says it's just really, really tight, but he's afraid to give me anything because of my, just for simplicity's sake, my sleep phobia. I had another one of those, or after that evening, I had like I think it was a panic attack. After the video, or that was Monday, so I think Tuesday, I called my psychiatrist because that night I had, I thought it felt like when I was getting vertigo, but without the actual room spinning. So that night I took one of my vertigo pills. The first time I took them, I think they gave me in the hospital, but it immediately relaxed me. But I knew that I was going to have a rough night because I was afraid it was going to force me to sleep. But really what was happening was my sinuses were so stuffed up I couldn't breathe. I am a nose breather. If my mouth opens up during sleep, that might happen, but I'm normally a nose breather. I wake up usually with my mouth, for the most part, closed, and every time I fall asleep, I couldn't breathe. So I have made the appointment on Tuesday because I couldn't go another day like that, and I called the local place, and they said that someone has canceled for me to come in the next day. Last week, that Monday, I did not go to get my sleep study machine. I knew I was gonna have a long week. I just wanted to try to relax that day. Obviously, with the panic attacks that night, I was also kind of afraid to drive like that. So I had 7 appointments in 3 days. With the pattern is usually 2 nights without sleep, and then I can sleep for the rest of the nights. However, sometimes it does take me a while to get to sleep. Sometimes I won't get to sleep till 2, or I'll fall asleep, wake up at 2, won't be able to go back to sleep till 4. So I was like, I'm gonna hold off on the machine and wait till, since I had 3 appointments, but that added 2 more days, 2 more appointments. So I had 5 appointments. I'm trying to think. Let me see. Yes, I had 5 appointments because I had to see the psychiatrist to talk to them about, what's going on. And yes, she said it was an anxiety attack. And so because I told her that I can't take something that's going to make me fall asleep very quickly. And because the ENT says that he thinks I have sleep apnea, she didn't want to give me anything that was going to make me drowsy either. So she said she thinks that the best thing would be the Prozac, because she didn't really tell me this. The pharmacist told me this. It doesn't make you drowsy, but the pharmacist says it's also a pick-me-up. I was looking it up, and they said it's either Prozac or Lexapro, and Lexapro does have a tendency to make you sleepy. So those are my 2 choices. She gave me a child-sized dose, and then if I'm having a really, really bad anxiety, then she gave me gabapentin, and I already had some. So it was like crazy. So Tuesday, I had to go to my appointment for my for the 6th or 7th plastic surgeon, and they didn't have a large cup. When they use the small cups, it gives a false reading. But she said that 160 over, it was 160 over 99, 166 over 99, and that was with a small cuff. She says I need to change my metoprolol to something else because it's not working. What else is new? But when she did it manually, it went to 166 over 79. So, again, I always feel like they're not really listening. It's like, okay, I know 99 is a lot, but what about 79? It's a little high, but not that bad. So basically, she says before she'll do the surgery, two things need to happen. We need to get rid of this infection. So she put me on antibiotics again, and I actually went through my prescriptions and found out they're just giving me repeats of what they gave me of other doctors gave me before that didn't work. And the thing is, they do work in helping to take away the infection, but as soon as you stop taking them, it comes right back. So I not only do I have a list of heart blood pressure meds that work or don't work, but now I got to do a list of antibiotics. So I'm not paying out money for the same thing over and over, just wasting time. Because this really needs to happen before the end of this year, or else I will not have the money to cover 30% or 100% next year. So she said, let's get rid of this infection, let's get your blood pressure down, and then we'll do the surgery. She didn't say if she was going to try and find out if my insurance is going to do it yet. I have to call about that, but she was like, let's do that, and then we can do this, we can remove that. They also telling me go to a nutritionist because it's just gonna happen again. The reason it happened in the first place because I had skin hanging after each pregnancy, and that's where all the fat accumulated. So I've already, because of that stuffy nose issue, I gave up yogurt, which was my source of protein. I'm eating a lot more nuts now. And I'm just waiting for people to tell me that that's fat, because it's like, what can I eat? So she told me to go to a nutritionist because, if you don't lose weight, it's just going to happen again. It happened because of hanging skin. I told her, what more do you want me to do? I gave up all dairy now, or at least my yogurt that I would take every day for protein. Now I'm just like munching on nuts. And they're like, well, I said, what more do you want me to do? I mean, basically my family makes a joke to eat ice and eat it and drink air, because they're saying, well, the nutritionists could give you tips and variety and blah, blah, blah. I having a hard time trying to eat vegetables. It's just they taste so disgusting to me. And I mean, I'm trying to like munch on raw green beans. I haven't even touched them though, to be honest. They went bad really fast the last time. Tried having broccoli. I don't know why. It just but I am trying baby steps with that. It's hard because I like something sweet after my meal, which the yogurt, again, it wasn't very, I don't like sweet stuff, but the yogurt did have it, with the little chocolate chips, gave it some flavor. But I'm not, I gave that up because I'm like, why is my nose so stuffed up? I couldn't breathe. So, after I went to see the plastic surgeon, I had to go pick up this machine. It was on the way, so it wasn't a big deal. So that's why I wanted to wait till Tuesday. So, I pick it up, and it was really simple, it was pretty comfortable, a little tight. It did give me a little bit of pain the next day, but it's a little tiny machine that you strap around your chest, and then it has a connector for your finger, and then it has a connector for the little tubes that go in your nose, like for oxygen. It wasn't giving oxygen, but it was measuring. That kept falling out of my nose. I tightened it as best I could because if it's too tight, I'll get a headache. But I kept waking up with it falling out of my nose. I slept wonderfully that night, and I'm like, okay. My daughter says, was it the tube that relaxed you because it reminds you of oxygen? I don't know. But I slept heavenly that night. I did wake up in the middle of the night and was up for maybe an hour, but fell back asleep. So now the next day I had 3 appointments. I was shocked because I got stuff mixed up. The last thing I need is all that stress, and I had to be scrambled to get those appointments right and to change appointments around. So I had an unexpected appointment. So Wednesday I had to take my daughter to her doctor. Then I had to go to if I'm not mistaken, I had to go to another place, and then I had to return the machine. So according to her data, I was functioning on only 67% oxygen, and I told her, I told her the tube kept falling out of my nose, but the data had to be sent to the doctor. So fine. So I know I had like 3 things I had to do that day, and then I have another appointment the next day. I get a call from the doctor, and he told me that that it is sleep apnea, and I'm like, but I didn't have any trouble breathing, and I, it's like I think that because the tube fell out or something, I don't know. He says that he wants me to do an APAP. It's better than a CPAP because it self-adjusts. I'm not doing the CPAP. I remember trying it, whatever it was 10 years ago, and it's the blowing of the air in my mouth kept waking me up and freaking me out. I felt like I couldn't breathe. So, they're giving me a choice of any machine I want. I'd rather do the nose one, but how am I going to do the nose one? Because this was horrible. I slept good for 2 nights. Usually it's 2 bad nights and like 5 better or good nights. My daughter got sick, and she I don't know, she was just got her nose, stuffed up nose, coughing, all that crap. And I'm like, that's the last thing I need. And I don't know if that's why my nasal passages just were swelling up every night. So I did the 7 things I needed to do because I had to scramble and then do more appointments for them, and had to do my appointments, their appointments. Right at this second, I can't remember what all of them was. 2 of them was getting the machine and returning it. So basically, I'm gonna get a call from the place that that has the machines, and I have to go over there and choose which one I want. But he's telling me that unless I have trouble breathing during the day, that a pulmonist is not going to approve me getting oxygen. And then I remembered I spent almost a whole Saturday not being able to breathe right. So I'm still going to make the appointment with the pulmonologist, because I have a bad feeling I'm not going to be able to, this machine's not going to work. But especially since my nasal passages were swollen. This is actually the 3rd night I've had without sleep. It started Friday night, Saturday night, and last night, and I was like, I can't keep functioning like this. And I think the first day I got maybe an hour sleep. I think the second I got 4 hours sleep in the morning. We're talking about 5 o'clock in the morning, and then I tried everything. I tried Sudafed 10 because the 30 it feels like it's gonna give me a heart attack. I tried nasal sprays. I tried all different kinds of pills for the nose. Nothing. Just seemed like the more I did, the worse it got. And then, yesterday I got desperate and I used Afrin, and Afrin is bad for you. Your nose will get addicted to it. You're only allowed to use it for 3 to 4 days, because after that you'll never be able to breathe on your own again. You'll have to use the Afrin all the time. It's like like your nose gets addicted to it. So I was desperate last night. I said if I could just breathe, I'll be able to sleep. I'm a nose breather, so I tried sleeping with my mouth open, and then I fall asleep with my mouth closed, and then I wake up. So the crazy thing was, because of lack of sleep, I was starting to fall asleep at 9. I really didn't want to go to bed that early, because then I'll wake up at midnight and be up for 5 hours or whatever. So, but I use my anti-inflammatories. I usually use naproxen, which is Aleve. This time I used ibuprofen, which I don't know what the brand name is, because we had 800 milligrams left over from whatever, and I figured that was strong enough to clear up my passages, and great. I was even able to take not a nap. I rest. Sometimes I don't actually fall asleep, but I rest. And that was another thing the doctor said. I'm not getting a real sleep, and that is true. Since this happened, so I could still. I have to sleep with relaxing music. I can still hear the music, and I'm like in like a twilight sleep. He says I'm not really getting a real sleep, that this is going to make me feel better, that I'm going to have full oxygen, full air. I'm going to be oxygenated via the air, not oxygen tank. And I'm going to sleep better, blah, blah, blah. Something tells me I'm not going to be able to get used to that, but whatever. So last night, this was the crazy thing. I used the Afrin. Something what I was noticing was my nasal spray was irritating my sinuses, and I'm like, am I getting my daughter's cold? My son said he felt like he was getting my daughter's cold. I don't know, but I took it, the Afrin, and OMG, that burns me. That burns all my nasal passages, and I felt like that dripping sensation. I blew my nose. There was no mucus, but blood came out. I just think my sinuses are inflamed, and yeah, my ENT says there's nothing wrong with my sinuses, so I'm thinking it might be that I'm just getting my daughter's cold, because right now I feel like I'm getting a cold. So I blew my nose and I was breathing great. An experience of the past 2 nights though, when I try to go back to the bed where I'm more comfortable than my recliner, because it doesn't really recline. It doesn't have a pad for your legs. It's only got a half pad, like it only supports half your leg with a pad. The other half is no pad, and that has been giving me restless leg syndrome, where I'm trying to get comfortable and I can't, and then all my muscles tighten up in my legs, and so I try to go to my bed where I'm comfortable, and usually I sleep with about 20 pillows for my back. Now I'm sleeping with like 3 pillows on my head to keep me elevated. That makes me feel safe, and it relieves my anxiety, and I can sleep better. Now I'm doing like 5 pillows, because every time I lay down, all my sinuses swell up again. So I was like, I couldn't sleep last night because the sleep phobia kicked in again. I said, if I could just breathe, I'll be fine. Now I'm breathing. The Afrin, I was desperate. I did the Afrin. I wouldn't do it again. And I was, every time I fall asleep, it was the sleep phobia hitting me again. Every time I fall asleep, the sleep phobia hitting me again. And it's like, there's no reason for this. I can breathe. Why is this happening? I know I wasn't comfortable. And it was weird because I couldn't hear the music anymore. I had it really low though, because sometimes it's a little bit too loud and it keeps me from sleeping, or it wakes me up. So I put it on the lowest setting where I could still hear the music, but very, very faintly. It was as if I was drifting off. I don't know, maybe I was going into full sleep mode, and then I would wake up. And I was like, this was happening all night. I could feel myself getting the restless night syndrome. 5 o'clock in the morning. It was just usually it's 4. Lately it's been 5, 6. I went to the bed and I tried propping up the pillows. It's uncomfortable to sleep with 5 pillows. My back was throbbing with pain. Trying to find a comfortable position where I'm not going to stop, get all stuffed up. And finally found it. And I slept. I didn't hear, and I think I went into a deep sleep because I didn't hear the music, and I slept for about 6 hours. I woke up at 11:30. That is so dang frustrating. That's the only reason why I'm able to function right now, because I do feel sick. I don't know if it's the Afrin, but now the irritation is all the way down in my throat. My throat was feeling sore last night. I thought it was from maybe trying to force my throat open to breathe and keep my mouth open, using all the muscles. All this is irritating, and I do feel like I'm starting to get a cold. So I don't know if maybe that's been my problem. Being Puerto Rican, being Hispanic, Puerto Rican, I don't know how I forgot about using Vicks. And I kept thinking, man, I wish I had something that maybe could open up my passages, something mentholy. And I totally forgot I had Vicks. Out of sight, out of mind. Not where I keep my medicine, but where I keep my cleansers. And a friend told me this morning, you should try it. I'm like, how can a Puerto Rican Hispanic person not think of that first? I'm gonna try that tonight. And now I know I cannot go to the bed. I will just stop. My nose will swell up again. I also found out about someone told me that there's a strip that you put on your nose, and it's because you think that you're full of mucus, but you're not. I wasn't. When I blew my nose, all that came out was blood. It's just my nasal passages just swell up, and I know this one usually does because of this ear having liquid in it, but not the other one. And I'm gonna get that strip tonight. My husband said he'll drive me because I'm exhausted. And basically with everything that's happening now, with, I have to see a, I have to see the cardiologist again. My therapist is going away. So instead of doing it in 2 weeks, she said, can we go this week? So I've got, this week, a full week again. It's like, all I wanted to do was rest. I don't need this. I've had people say stupid things to me as to why this is happening. And, all that does is mess with my head and give you more anxiety. I don't know why this was triggered. It's the last thing I need in my life. I've already had problems sleeping all my life. And all I want to do is rest. And this is what I get, is like no sleep at all. It's so frustrating to be waking up at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Half my day is gone. And I have so many things to do. I actually was able to hit the files on Friday. Today is Monday. I do my video on Monday, and then I edit it on Friday, Saturday. Whenever I get a chance. With these appointments, I'm not really getting much of a chance. So I said, I know I'm not going to be able to do all the files. I'll probably get through one, but basically that's because I actually go through every single paper. You know what I did? I just took out, I usually keep them nice and neat and all of that, and date them and everything, and what's important, I just threw them because I need the space. And I got through about 10 files. I just quickly, did one of these and said, okay, anything looks like it's garbage, no, okay, let me just throw it in. So I put everything, in a file, like Tupperware, Rubbermaid, and then I'll just put it in the garage. And that's another thing. I need to clean that garage so bad. You can barely walk in there. So I need to get that garage cleaned out, and I have no energy to do nothing. I just have I could barely get my desk cleaned up. I just wanted to get the all I wanted to do the first week out of when school was over was do my brushes, which that was priority. It took me 4 days to get all of this cleaned. I did a thorough job though. Get that desk done and get the garage done. And I knew that was going to take me, a couple of days to do that, a couple of days to do the garage, and nothing's getting done. And then I just wanted to rest. And I think I got maybe 1 week of rest so far. I've been dealing with the rest where I'm not driving anywhere for the whole week. So I think I only got 1 week done, 1 week of rest, and, trying to take care of business. So I'm probably only did a third of those files, and I don't know what, I gotta get to that garage before school starts. I gotta be healed of this problem before school starts. I don't know how I'm gonna drive like this. This has got to be the most frustrating thing I've ever been through. But the Prozac, the first day I took it, I was getting an anxiety attack. My therapist said I need to tell the doctor that some people just can't handle these type of things. So I called the doctor, and they said give it a couple of days, and didn't happen again. The second night I didn't sleep till like 4 in the morning. That was that Thursday night, I think. I didn't sleep till 4 in the morning because I was wide awake. It wasn't that I was trying to fall asleep. I was wide awake. It wasn't that I was tired but anxious. I was wide awake. On top of that, Buddy ate something and he was like choking on. He was, doing a cat when the gagging, trying to gag it out. So he was keeping me up doing that, and finally, fell asleep at 4. But this is like so frustrating. So, I mean, therapy's going well, thank God. It's, you know, it's I think it's helping. I just, I don't know if that's what's contributing. I mean, people say it is. That, I mean, maybe I've kept stuff on the back burner that I thought wasn't there anymore, and I don't know. Is that just? It sounds like we're maybe that everything is just all the stress and everything just exploded into this sleep phobia, and it's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous and insane. And last night it wasn't that I was scared to sleep. I wanted to sleep so bad. It was just that it would just wake up for no reason. It was just so frustrating. So yeah, my daughter called and I lost my train of thought, but so let's see what happens with this. I think that my body might adjust well to the Prozac. I don't know. They did say that if I ever need to get off of it, though, you need to do it gradually, because your body will react very negatively. But so yeah, therapy's going well, thank God, and never thought I'd find myself in this position where that's just adding to appointments I need to make. It's wonderful, and I was apprehensive about doing it, but it's been wonderful. So I mean, I think it's just helping me, period, and I just hope that this Prozac helps. I'm not taking the gabapentin. She said that's only if it gets really bad, unless it's the daytime and I'm having a freaking, full-on anxiety panic attack, because I can't have anything that's going to make me fall asleep too quickly at night. I can't have anything that's going to make me groggy. So it's just crazy. It's been 4 days, but all of this is so irritated. I think I'm just getting my daughter's cold, like I said. So yeah, and next week I got 4 more appointments because I need to see the cardiologist again. I know this week my daughter has her follow-up, so I'm 4 days this week, at least 3 days next week already. And I'm telling myself, well, when my daughter gets a surgery, I can't make appointments for those weeks. So let's just hope that I'll be able to rest. My biggest concern is what's going to happen when school starts, and I'm not sleeping till 5 in the morning, waking up at 11:30 when we need to leave, by 12. I just don't know. I just don't know what I'm going to do. I just really need to get a handle on this. I just really feel like I'm going crazy sometimes, and my cousin says, well, if you know you're going crazy, or if you can actually say you're going crazy, then you're not, because people go crazy don't know they're going crazy. And my husband says that I still have my wits when it comes to him, because if he does something to me, I'll, so so yeah, I haven't really gone anywhere. I'm just trying to survive this horribleness, just doing what I got to do for my family. So I don't really know of anything new that's out there. I haven't been to the stores to check anything out. I just trying to survive. So like I told the psychiatrist, I need to keep my sanity so I can help my kids, with their issues. I can't lose it. My husband has to work. He can't bring my son to school. He can't take them to their appointments. He can't make their appointments. He can't, order their prescriptions. It won't happen. He has such long hours, pick up their prescriptions. This family doesn't work without me. So this is really the last thing I need. Very last thing I need in my life. No rest so far. So all I can think of is when my daughter has a surgery, but I need her help to clean the garage. So I don't know how I'm going to do that on my own. So all I can think of is that's when I'll probably get some rest. No appointments. So that's that. So again, by end of August, you should be seeing the Fantasy Makers line come out. Almost everything in their line will probably be You will be able to buy through their website. Because I remember last year I was pissed that they didn't have their stuff at Rite Aid that I couldn't get, but then I actually found that at one HEB, and I could have gotten it online. So, you know, nothing really that I know of that's coming out new. So, you know, as far as Wet and Wild, like I said, August Fancy Makers will come out last week of August. All September you'll be seeing all of that. So yeah, just trying to survive, and hopefully next week, like I said, it's Monday, but I won't edit the video till Fridays. I do have Monday off, I believe, so I will be able to do a video, and I'm gonna probably do another one of these Milani, you know, so yeah, that's it. I will see you guys next week. Love you. Bye.